All right, let's do it live on a Thursday edition of Cleveland Browns Daily. I am merely Beau. He is the great Z. How you doing, pal?
I mean, you got the Masters going on. You got 80 degrees and sunny.
Man.
It's a shame to be, unfortunately, it's a shame to be indoors at this very moment, but it is a treat to be with you and all of our terrific audience. We have a wonderful audience that we get to be talking to.
We do have a fantastic audience.
Yes.
Don't you think, isn't there like a BPA we can throw up right now?
Yeah,
throw one of those up for the next hour?
Your true baby.
Last hour of the show, maybe.
Got one that's dropping later on today. Bruce Feldman. Nice 30-minute meat sandwich, kids.
Ooh, Feldman.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Is Clooney involved in this one?
I gave him the week off. I've been trying to get him a week off.
Wow.
Thank you. Thank you.
Wow.
Feels good. Feels
we'll have
free.
to see how the ratings do without Clooney. You have to see if
I know
Schwimmer
Feldman's a
and
nice,
LeBlanc
Feldman's
can
a
carry
nice
a show.
draw draft time, I would say. I'd say that's a nice get, Feldman.
I would think that would be what you'd be. Do you? It is just downright strange that we're like 3 weeks from the draft. Like and you guys know this better than even I do. But like this was our Super Bowl.
Yep, and now it's
now the Super Bowl's our Super Bowl.
Right.
So it's like we're kind of like it's so okay.
We're not
draft.
even involved.
Like it's going to be fantastic.
We're not even involved in any of the drama in any of the mock drafts. We're
Nothing.
so like in the irrelevant portion of a mock
So
draft.
far.
Right. If you're in the top 16 to 20 even, you can be involved in draft, mock draft trades and excitement like that.
Sure.
We're involved in none of it, which is great.
It is, but it is a foreign feeling to be sitting here this far into April, 3 weeks from the draft, and who knows?
And at the draft's
Who
here.
knows, man?
And the draft is here.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's going to be an extraordinary experience. Like, fingers crossed the weather is as great as it's been, and I think the last, 6 weeks of weather is the best spring I've ever had in Ohio. I mean, so much sun, so nice, so many great days. And so, that's all been fantastic. But normally you're really dialing up and dialing in your mock drafts and your draft plans and what's going to happen. And there's none of that. It's such a strange thing. We will do a tremendous job hosting the draft. There's no doubt. It will be pure joy. It's going to be so cool down there. It's going to be awesome. But just from the standpoint of it's odd that for us it's such a back burner this year.
Totally. And it's ironic, right, that it is in Cleveland. You could think of if the Baker-Denzel draft were in Cleveland, what that would have been like. But it's a sign.
Oh, jeez.
It's a sign of improvement. It's a sign of relevance. It's a sign of maturation of our football program that the draft is merely a means by which to acquire competition and talent at below market prices, because that's the nature of the draft, and hopefully be the lifeblood of your organization for the next 4 years. Be a part of that core. So to find those guys who can help you out, and we know that we're in a good spot to do just that. And so it's going to be incumbent upon the Browns to take advantage of that. And Andrew Berry, and the best part is, who gives you more confidence right now than Andrew Berry and Kevin Stefanski and DeChambeau that they're going to manage this the right way, get us what we need to continue to improve and hopefully take a step. I was checking out Ed Heinen's yesterday, and my cashier was like, I'm so excited for this season. Like, I can't even wait. I don't even care about the draft.
Yeah.
She was like, I never have said that in my life. I don't care. Like, just get me the season. Like, I'm ready. I said, let's enjoy the summer. That's what I said. Let's just enjoy. We've been waiting for. Let's enjoy the summer.
Yeah, let's live.
Enjoy some of this, vaccinated bliss for those who get vaccinated, and let's enjoy that, and just live a little bit. And then guess what? Guess what the dessert is after a summer of drinking off the hose of life? Browns football, relevant.
Yeah, now you're. Yeah, it is. It's wild. It really is. It's a wild, wonderful thing, and it's. You mentioned like AB and Stefanski and even Dorse. There was just you felt so good about the way that they would approach the draft, and you had confidence going, okay, they're going to get a good player. They're getting good players. And for a long time, obviously, there was such trepidation around the draft because it hadn't gone well. And those days are gone, man. And so not only is it you're picking 26th, but you also have complete confidence in the humans that are doing it, that they know what they're doing, and that The draft will come to them. There won't be any panic, any reach. They'll have a plan. They'll execute it. You're going to get good players. We don't know who those players are, what positions they're going to be playing. I think a lot's on the table, in that, you think a corner's going to happen in the first couple of picks, certainly, but I don't know that they would reach for one. I don't think you have to. So
agreed.
It's just a very unique spot.
There was a time when the draft was viewed as not only the most important thing in the football year for Browns fans, they also were about, 17% confident that it would come out the right way. Now, Gibbe might declare 17% of something a victory, but it's not.
You do not.
You would.
Not
I would
a
not.
victory. No,
you talk to the Browns fans during the 17% era. They weren't calling that a victory. They were saying, nay, we'd like more confidence. And now you've got all the confidence.
Here's the difference. You said 0%.
That's what it should have been.
0%.
That's what it should
would
have been.
vote for to caddy for one of Ohio's own.
I don't even get to caddy for him in the Masters. I'm caddying for him in a par 3 when I could sit next to him and be privy to conversations of every champion. A lot of people can caddy for people. Nobody gets to go to that dinner.
I'm just stating.
Nobody.
I'm just stating.
Didn't we litigate this already?
0%.
Yeah.
And 17% prove you wrong.
Gibbe last night, I don't know if you saw this, opened up like 7
I don't follow you
new
on
Twitter
social.
accounts. You don't follow me.
Oh, he's got a bunch of burner accounts?
Oh, my God. The Gibbe burners were out in force, and then they got called out, and it was revealed, and there was laughter and cheer. And
there was no burner
even the
accounts.
burners
Just
ultimately agreed that I was right.
People making sensible
arguments. Can we make one point yesterday? I'd like to make one point on this.
Yeah.
So it was play the par threes, dinner, Champions dinner,
play the par threes on Augusta National, like the Masters.
Yeah,
par
not
threes.
the par 3 course.
Right.
No, the Masters par threes, the 4 par threes. You can do that, or caddy for Jack at the par 3. Here's something that I think that I think our audience was smarter than us, which can happen, maybe often, is this. We did not give enough attention to the Champions dinner part of it.
Yeah.
And the reason I say that is it is possible that over the course of our lives, we may be able to play Augusta. It's possible. There are circles that you can get to, that you could somehow find a way onto that course. And worst case scenario, if you wanted to at like age 68, you could just go take a job as a local television guy in Augusta, Georgia, and I guarantee you can play on Monday. You do that job for 1 year and you can play on Monday. So if that's what it took, you could do that. But it's also not impossible to suggest that you may somehow be in circles with people who could get you on that course. The Champions dinner
That's the one. That's what I voted
impossible. It's impossible. That's something that we did not give enough conversation to, because you are not winning Augusta. You're not winning the Masters.
Nope.
The only people in there, the best chance you would have is to be a server. You're not going to be a server at Augusta.
No, you're eating.
I can't do that.
No.
So the only chance you have to eat, that is the most exclusive dinner. That is something that was not given enough conversation yesterday, because we'd spent so much time on the Jack thing and on playing the par threes, and we were also trying to weigh what is a reasonable amount of holes to play that would make it a close vote. By the way, I think we succeeded at that, because it was a close vote.
Right.
It was a very close vote.
I
think we succeeded. We found the sweet spot.
There are two things.
Yeah.
So, number one, it is feasible. I could envision a world in which there was a charity auction that you could win that could allow you to caddy for somebody during the par 3. That does not seem outside the realm of possibility. There is no charity auction in the world that's going to get you into, have dinner at the Champions dinner. That doesn't exist.
No, it doesn't exist.
That's the one thing here.
The Jack part of it is what made it unique, because there probably aren't that many more appearances for him in the par 3 contest. So that is another thing that we didn't bring enough attention to, is you're winding down the amount of time that you're going to be able to play golf or hang out with Jack Nicklaus, because of his elevated age, obviously. So, but that was something. As I was thinking last night, you know what? That's a dinner that's impossible. That's impossible. There aren't many things. You get to a point in life of a certain age, there aren't many things that you can say to yourself, I can't do that. I just can never do that. Though that is past. I've missed the opportunity to do that. I cannot do that in life. That's one of those things.
There are elite golfers that have played with Jack, that have been with Jack at the par 3, that spent their whole lives, that can't get into that dinner.
That's right. That is such an exclusive, and you can't do it. There's no way around it. Like to play the course potentially could happen. It's not even that far-fetched. It's not impossible, but and in fact, there's a straight path if you had the really were determined to do it. There's a straight path to do it in terms of playing it on the Monday after the Masters. The Champions Dinner is impossible. It's impossible. So yeah, that's it. By the way, good job out of you on your the Z guy that you picked. He's doing a nice job down there.
Well, you've got him as well, right?
No,
I do. Yeah, thanks you.
Beau's
got him in his other foray, which is more important, I think.
Yeah.
Yes, Zegura, you're winning 5-3-0. Beau doesn't have anything yet.
McElroy's killing me.
I got nothing.
Should have taken John Rahm.
I didn't you hear what I said? Gibbe took Rahm. Didn't you hear what I said yesterday when I said Roy will go out and shoot 81 tomorrow and then shoot 66, 67, 68?
Well, I hope so.
That's what's going to happen.
I hope you're right.
That's what he'll do.
And he's not going to care.
That's what he'll do.
Otherwise, he's going to he's going to ruin me.
Did you guys hear the story he told about the story that he told about going to see Tiger before the Masters at his press conference?
No.
Did you hear this? So Wright Thompson chronicles this beautifully, but the presser's great. So at the end of the press conference, he just starts talking about Tiger, about going to see him. And there's, Tiger not being there is cast over this entire event.
Sure.
I mean, it's a big shadow. What's happened to him and him not being there. And a lot of these guys have the unique ability to both idolize Tiger Woods and not only be his rivals on the course, but be his friends.
Sure.
Like this would be similar to like you palling around with Jeff George.
Poor.
Like just it's some world where you're just like his buddy. Like you're over at his house hanging out. I agree. You might be the only one at the house. I can't imagine it's a long buddy list.
Quality time.
So I think you and him, that's all you need.
Some real QT.
But he said, so he goes to see Tiger at his house. Tiger's got the 15 majors in a trophy case in the house. Like they're all sitting there in this huge glass trophy case, all 15 of the majors. The trophies are sitting there. And Rory says, where's the rest? And Tiger goes, and of course Tiger's won 67 non-majors.
Yeah.
Which is pretty good.
He says they don't count?
And he goes, I don't even know. I don't know. He goes, I don't know. Some are at my mom's, some are in the garage, some are at the office. I don't know. I don't know where they are. And Rory says when he left the house, that's all he could think about, is that Tiger used golf tournaments as practice for 4 tournaments a year.
Yeah.
That was his mindset. That it didn't matter. Of course he wanted to win, but whatever. And by the way, he's won the biggest tournaments. When you talk about the World Golf Championships, you talk about Firestone, Muirfield, Bay Hill, TPC, like the ones that matter most, he's won them all. He doesn't even know where the trophies are. Who knows? They're around.
It's the privilege of expectations.
Just thought it was a great story.
It is a great story.
Great story. Great story out of Roy.
Yeah, they're in the garage.
Have you guys
It's
seen
somewhere.
this developing story? I caught the end of it as I was coming in with lunch, but DeChambeau is everything is cut and dry.
You don't say.
He's got a routine. He always has a book with him on I don't know what exactly is in the book, but the Masters does not allow these books. And he is struggling, they said, on the practice. Like, he has been on the practice green for like 4 hours because he's like, I don't know how to read this or how to do, like, I don't know if it's the greens.
Glad I didn't have
Well,
him.
that makes me feel great.
Glad I didn't
Made me
pick
feel
him.
great. I didn't have him.
Feel pretty good about Justin Thomas right now.
Yeah, it's Justin Thomas and John Ram versus DeChambeau and McElroy. Those are the only choices I wrestled. Zalatoris was Lock City, the Big Z.
Locked, you knew it. Yeah.
He's
The big
tall
Z.
and long.
How about that? So that's probably has to do with that because everything he does is those angles and percentages and all that stuff.
Yeah.
That's exactly.
But
it
why
had
would they not
something that
allow-
The Masters does not allow that.
That doesn't make any sense to me.
The Golf Channel's
Do you
been
think they
going
care?
with it for like 10 minutes now.
No, but I don't even understand how
They
that's a
don't
rule
care.
that you can't have your own book. You can't have your own yardage book.
Do whatever they
Of course
want.
You do. Caddies all have yardage books, and they have the slopes on the greens or on those books.
I'm guessing it's not yardage. I'm guessing it's something else.
It's the slopes of the greens, but they've got that on all of every course has that. All that these
We'd
guys
have to
play.
get Stevie on it. Get us a real what this is
Give me
really
the
about.
facts.
What's in the
Okay.
book?
No Masters green reading books. Unlike at regular PGA Tour events, players won't have their noses deep in those detailed green reading books here at Augusta National. DeChambeau, it's a lot harder, DeChambeau said on Wednesday. Growing up in college, we didn't have green books, and I played well then. I played well here the last couple of years, gotten pretty comfortable with the greens.
He's so
I'll be spending a lot
scientific.
more time on the greens the next few days trying to
He's
figure
gonna-
this out.
he's gonna
I'm going
shoot
to try
90.
to get comfortable
he's
with
not.
those areas in my mind. He's all freaked out about the greens.
He's
ball.
a miss the cut.
He's
He's
science.
the miss the cut.
He's a scientist. That's what's crazy about him is he truly is a
79-81.
scientist. No. Silly.
I just think that you're wasting strokes on the range. Just go play.
Now what he's trying to
I
listen.
hit a
Boy,
couple
he's-
balls and let's go.
He's trying to get his feel
Yeah, man.
with the flat stick.
Get
I
him
never. By the way,
Paired like his Wednesday with the fellas with round one of the Masters.
I never
Couple
warm up.
balls on the range.
I
and
don't-
go
I don't
play.
I
believe
never
in
warm
warm-up.
That's awesome.
I never warm up.
I don't believe in it.
I would say my first tee green fairway percentage is 99.4, and I never warm up.
Would you
Mine
warm
is
up at
not,
Augusta?
And I don't warm up.
No, on the greens, putting, sure.
If you were a
putting.
professional golfer, would you warm up at Augusta? Yeah, I think you would.
I'd warm up. I would not hit shots beforehand.
I
I
think
would
you'd
warm
hit a
up on
couple
the
balls.
greens.
You'd hit a couple balls.
I don't do
I think
that.
You'd hit a couple balls.
I've never done that.
Everybody does it.
I've
never
never
seen a
done
pro
it.
not hit balls, not hit a few balls. Never, not one.
Just kind of stretch out.
You'd
a
be the
little
one.
bit.
I do.
Walk
I do
up,
some
hit.
stretching. I do some
Gotta
old
get
man.
loose.
I do some Billy Ho stretching. I do some of this.
My favorite
Maybe a
is
little bit of this.
is when you go to when you're out on the course and the guys at the first tee and they do this bit with the driver and then that's it. That's all that's needed.
This.
Just loosen up.
That's
Just
me.
loosen
I
up
don't do
that.
that. I
That's
have
me.
it over my head, but I do a little twist.
Yeah.
I'll bend over. I'll do a little back.
I just
back
got to loosen the
stretch.
back up, and then I'll take swings with put my 60 and 56 together in
Yeah.
my hands to get a little weight. And I can take
Yeah.
a few swings, and then let's
Get a
go.
little loose.
I don't take
Get loose.
practice swings on the course.
I mean, you
At
might
all.
have to now that you're teeing up in the middle of the fairway.
No, I've adjusted very nicely.
I guess my point is I'm not sure if our approach would be the same, and I'm using our consensus R as when we go play with our buddies as if we were PGA Tour professionals.
You've got to
That'd probably be a different
You've got to
approach.
go with what works for you. You have to have your own routine. That's my routine.
All right, time for your OBM Hot Topics. Ohio Business Machine, preferred comp provider, your Cleveland Browns. For all the X's and O's for your office, call 216-485-2000 or visit ohiobusinessmachines.com. Hey, here's a list of guys who will be at the 2021 NFL Draft 3 weeks from now in Cleveland. Mac Jones will be there. Trey Lance will be there. Jamar Chase will be there. Devontae Smith will be there. Kyle Pitts will be there. Christian Barmore, the inside defensive lineman from Alabama. Gregory Rousseau from Miami. Micah Parsons. Caleb Farley. Also, Patrick Surtain II.
So-
Of those names, who is the biggest risk of having to pack two suits?
Christian Barmore, for sure. So you know,
Rousseau's, I feel like, right there too.
he's right there as well. We know, we're connected to the biz, and I have, a friend in the agent community who's got somebody that's a likely first rounder, and they were I think they only invited 17 people, maybe, and they were trying to be very locked in on who's there. Now, this could be a case where Barmore and Rousseau are more well regarded in NFL circles than we believed and in the media circles, but it has also been the case that guys have sat there for 2 days, and sometimes they leave because the embarrassment and plus it's a brutal thing to sit
Geno.
there. Last
Remember
guy
Geno
in the green
Smith
room. Last guy in
had
the
to
green
come
room.
back?
Yeah, that's never any fun.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Barmore's the one that surprises me the most, and Rousseau I would say is very much kind of on the bubble, which we'll get to. Segueing, and when we return, we're going to break down a new mock that involves the Browns and Rousseau, and I'm going to say nay. That's not
Nay.
how I see it going, given the
I agree.
options at the
Speaking
time.
of the 2000, I agree with you. Speaking of the 2021 NFL Draft, it is coming here. It's April 29th through May 1st. You can be part of the action. NFL Draft Experience. It takes place outside of First Energy Stadium. The 2021 NFL Draft Experience is free. It is a free football celebration. It's open to families and fans of all ages, but space is limited. So reserve your tickets today via NFL One Pass. A Schrags. P. Schrags with a little mock draft. All right, we will go over that. You have that to look forward to, which is nice. Go around the league as well. Coming up in the second hour, Gibby's got us doing some sort of snake draft thing that we're going to have to sort out at some point. Plus, are we doing Ask CBD today? Is that today? Yeah, Ask CBD's today. My goodness, what a pure joy
Let's
on a
go.
Masters Thursday edition. Off and running. Cleveland Browns Daily, 850 ESPN Cleveland. For serious injuries, call 1-800-ELK-OHIO today for a free case review. Elk & Elk is a proud partner of your Cleveland Browns. A mock draft today from Peter Schrager of NFL.com. And he has us with a Gregory Rousseau at 26, who we were just talking about. Here's what P. Schrags had to say. Rousseau didn't have the lights-out pro day everybody wanted to see, but still has the lights-out potential. Put on a ton of weight since he got to Miami. Is still scratching the surface. A 2020 opt-out who has a hard evaluation, just one full year of college football. Rousseau's upside remains enticing, especially in the back end of the first round. This does not seem like a human being we would pick based on that.
I don't disagree with you, and it seems like there is a growing consensus about him, that you're not sure what you're getting. Most of his production comes up lined inside. Well, that's not how he's going to be asked to win in the NFL. His pro day didn't blow anybody away. Jalen Phillips seems to have surpassed him exponentially. And I think for the Browns, when you look at P. Straggs' mock, you heard about the flirtation. Okay, so we know Clowney's been here on a visit. Jason Lockenfora, this is from Jason Lockenfora, tells me that Justin Houston is going to be taking visits next week, and one of those visits will include the Cleveland Browns.
Yep.
So those kind of signals, you haven't heard about us taking visits with Richard Sherman. You haven't heard us taking visits with any of these veteran corners that are out there as of right now.
Right.
Justin Houston, we went through his stats, which blew my mind. I had no idea the guy was still that productive.
Me too. I didn't realize it. No, I didn't either.
At least 8 sacks 4 years in a row. That tells me that they think, okay, we have a potential long-term solution here in Takk McKinley. Let's get a veteran to buttress that. We see what McKinley can be. We've got this wild card in Paul Bunyan, Curtis Weaver back here, who's transformed his body, and we're excited to see there.
Paul Bunyan.
So those types of tea leaves add up to me.
Paul Bunyan.
Add up to me. I ran into Sags the other day.
Babe the Blue Ox.
We talked about Paul Bunyan, how he's taking on a Paul
Ox
Bunyan mythic standing, and he loved it. He thought it was great.
He stopped the Mississippi River.
Listen, man. That's exactly right.
Are you and I solely responsible for this? We are, right?
No, I don't believe so. I don't believe so.
Mostly us, though,
we're like,
with Weaver.
We're tooting the horn. Sure.
Like
toot.
If you were to have a shot every time we said transformed his body in the last 4 months.
Well, that's the pay attention to the scores that I've gotten. That's what I've been. That's
no,
the
I
scores,
know.
Because we haven't gotten to see him on the grass. All we can do is see his body, and
it's a Herculean.
He's locked in mentally. He's dialed in.
We haven't got to see
dialed in mentally. Transformed his body.
Grass. I like that. Bunyan. I like that we're mocking ourselves with. I think this is a win. I like when we do this. This is fun. The Paul Bunyan. That's a good job out of you. I didn't even hear anything else you said. I was so entranced by Paul Bunyan.
So it just good. Again, what I was trying to get to is
yes,
not scores, because this is a tight-lipped place right now, folks. Tight-lipped.
Ooh.
Tight-lipped. Yeah. I might get an audience with some of the powers that be post for a little post breakdown, but
post-taste.
There are no such
Zero.
thing. It feels to me like we believe the best path for us is a veteran pass rusher. You've got young McKinley, you've got young Bunyan, you've got Gustin, 5-star. And
5-star, yep.
But we need that corner. And so if this draft falls the way that it does, in my mind,
yep,
there's a less than a caddy a par 3 event chance that we're not taking Caleb Farley.
Yeah. Yep. I'm for it. I like where
or to say it another way.
And on his board,
go to the
Farley
dinner.
Was there at
right.
27. Yeah.
I think it's a go to the dinner type of a lock that you're taking Farley.
Yeah. I agree with you. I think that it is corner at this point, and I do think if it is a defensive end, I just think based on the things that you're hearing on Rousseau, even if it is defensive end, he ain't the one. That's
the
that
guy
ain't scores. It's just
I want to know if Azeez Ojulari is a scheme fit.
Sure.
And so if I were able to ask Joe Woods a question.
Well, when we have Brugler on.
Gibbe's asking it. But if I were to ask Joe Woods a question, I would say, let's not get into specifics because I don't want to put him on the spot about a player. But what I would want to know is describe to me what makes someone a scheme fit for you as a defensive end in this defense. And what would preclude somebody from being a scheme
What are the
fit?
traits?
What are the traits? What do they need to have to play defensive end in this defense? So I got 2 things for you. One, Ojulari said he would love to play with Miles, thinks he's got the bend and they can race to the quarterback. I already like that kind of bravado. Let's not forget he led the SEC, the SEC in sacks, tackles for loss, and forced fumbles a year ago. By Mike last
Good
check,
conference.
decent conference.
Yep.
Caleb Farley said, anybody who passes on me, I'm going to Randy Moss them. You're all idiots. I'm the best.
I love that.
Come to me.
Idiots. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. I agree. Ojulari's an interesting one based on those things, but I think that really would be the question: is it a scheme fit? Because I think you're going to get a lot of opportunity if it is defensive end. I think there's going to be a lot to choose from at the end of this first round because it's a talent-rich position. There's going to be an incredible rush on these. I mean, the quarterbacks could all go in the top 7 or 8, probably 1 through 4 for sure. And then there will be some receivers that go. There's going to be some tackles that fall. That you're going to be able to get. You might be able to get a guy who you have graded in the top 10 or 15 on your board at 26, based on teams drafting for need versus off of their board. So to me, there's just some red flags with Russo. Again, not a score. It's just kind of connecting dots a little bit. He has Mac Jones to San Francisco. Did you hear Chris Collinsworth, what he had to say about Mac Jones?
No, but I'd love to hear it. He also said, to be
I'm
fair,
paraphrasing, but he said on his podcast with Richard Sherman, he did say that I cannot imagine Kyle gave up that much to draft Mac Jones.
Same. Maybe he shocks us all, but same. Yes, same. I have the same feelings.
Yep.
Same.
So, but yet yesterday Schefter said Mac Jones, number 3. And Schefter, as you guys know, he's not an opinion guy. He's an information man. Thrives on enthusiasm. He said Mac Jones, number 3 to San Francisco.
And that could be the information that
it's
they
hard
want
for me to
out
understand
there.
it.
That could be the
It could
information.
be, but oh, no question.
Could be the false information.
Yep. In Schrager's, he has the Patriots moving up to number 4 to select Justin Fields. This year's first and second rounder plus next year's first and third gets them up 11 spots to draft their quarterback. He has Cincinnati taking Jamar Chase, Kyle Pitts lasting to 7, and Arizona moving up. Boy, that would be a lot to deal with in Arizona if they added him to that mix of pass catchers that they have there. In the cornerback world, Newsome 17 to Vegas, J.C. Horn 21, Indy Caleb Farley at 21, and then Baltimore at 27. So that's kind of the way that shakes out from the cornerback position.
So right, and no surprise there. I think one of these guys will be there for the Browns. And again, you don't necessarily, the Browns may not think all 4 are the same, but Farley feels like a guy that could be a top 10 on our board that you have a chance to take. As far as the edge rushers go, Kwity Paye 14 to the Vikings. You've seen that in a lot of mocks. That has been in a lot of mock drafts that people think Kwity Paye and the Vikings and his comp. You know, a lot of people say Danielle Hunter, which would make sense that the Vikings would be interested in that. The other edges, Jalen Phillips to Tennessee, Jason Owe to the Jags at 25, Rousseau to us at 26. Other corners, Asante Samuel Jr.
Owe.
Yeah, 30th for Asante Samuel Jr. And he's got the Bucs taking David Mills out of Stanford at 32nd, which is, we haven't even heard anything about that. The other thing of note that I find surprising on here is no Azeez Ojulari, unless I missed him way in the top part of this draft, but it appears that he is not involved in the first round for Peter Schrager.
All right. Well, when are we having Brugler on next week? I know the Beast dropped yesterday, Gibby. Is it next week for Brugler? Okay. So there's a lot. That might need to be like a 2-segmenter.
Oh, for sure. Let's get our boy BA on here because he's dropping a lot of league-wide rumors right now. Albright.
Can do that. Yeah, no, Brugler. So I want like 25, 30 minutes with Brugler.
Yeah.
So that's
right.
He's getting a little breather. He's done a couple things for friends close to him.
Get closer to him then, Gibby.
No. It's not that we're not.
Who's
but
closer
it's
than
part
us?
of a bigger picture. He is going to be very, very involved with us over the next month.
All right.
So
I need to get some trait conversations with him about these defensive ends. I need to have those conversations here.
Yeah.
We can get that rolling a little bit. What's Albright doing? Anything, just throwing stuff at the walls? You got some crazy stuff?
No,
Give me
just
something fun.
A lot of things just about the way people are perceived right now. He does a lot of work this time of year to talk about, around the league, the perceptions of various people. He said 2 people that have the biggest variation in how they're viewed around the league are Penei Sewell and Justin Fields. He said some teams don't have Justin Fields in the first 3 rounds, and some have Justin Fields.
That's not right.
There are a lot of people who have said that. A lot. But there are also teams.
First 3 rounds?
There's some people that think he is not a top 3 round quarterback. There are others, though,
Well,
that think he's top 10.
They should be fired.
I think he's going to end up in the top 10.
Those people should be fired. Yeah, I'm thinking this too. I can't imagine that.
He also said that. He said, this isn't my opinion, by the way. And he'll put out his
No, I know,
rankings.
but it'd be like if you ran into that guy who's like, oh yeah, he's 4th round grade for us. Like if you're that guy that says that, then if I owned the team and that scout said that, you wouldn't be a scout anymore. Like that's the end of it. Like whether he's a fit for you or not, to say that as an asset he's a 4th rounder, impossible.
Just a quick pushback. Whoever said Dwayne Haskins was a 4th rounder may have been too generous, and you would have said that person should be fired.
Fine, that has as much to do with his personality and his mindset.
After I watched the guy throw in warm-ups, I texted you that and said, this dude is trash.
I understand, but that is not what you saw. A lot of it, and you know this, that you can cherry pick guys because if you play that game, you can say no one would have picked Jameis Winston in the first 3 rounds because he stinks with New Orleans this year.
I totally don't agree with, and I would totally not. The guy still threw
or
for
Mariota
5,000
on
yards
Mariota
and 40 touchdowns.
And Mariota, you'd say the same thing. Oh, he's a
Took
4th
teams
round
to
pick.
playoffs.
Guy stinks. So that's not. I mean, I
took teams
don't
to
think you can do
playoffs.
that cherry pick. There's a lot of guys who bust in the first round at that position.
All
That doesn't mean that going into the draft they're a 200 ranked talent in the draft.
Agreed. I think
two different things.
All that says to me is that there is a wide view of his variance. Because look, what you just said is the absolute truth. The quarterback position is binary. You're either a franchise quarterback or you're not. Sure, there are guys that can be middling and hang around the league for a decade, but the point is you're either the guy or you're not. That's it. That's the only thing that position can be.
Correct. But it's also the position where the things around you contribute to you being that almost as much as you do.
Immensely.
So that's you can be. It's the only really position that you draft in the league where that is as important as you. Anywhere else, you can be a star defensive end on the worst team, and your talent will rise up. Talent can only take you so far at the quarterback position if you're not supported.
100%.
So
and
that's the tricky part with that.
You've got to be fully committed to the lifestyle. It's got to be your life.
It's got to be your life. That's something you honestly sometimes you don't know until you're in it if the guy has it or not. All right, we will go around the league up next. Speaking of Justin Fields, a second pro day in order there. Josh Allen with some interesting comments on the franchise tag. And so we have that to look forward to, which is nice. You're listening to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland. All right, welcome back into Cleveland Browns Daily. Beau Bishop here from my great friends at Northeast Factory Direct. If you're sick and tired of your outdated kitchen, it is the time to upgrade. Go check them out at Northeast Factory Direct. It's very easy to do. High quality, name brand furniture. They got the hot tubs. It's about half price of what you're going to pay at the fancy stores. At Northeast, you also get the high quality cabinets. They're about 60 to 70% less than what you'd expect to pay at the expensive kitchen remodeling stores. And it's really easy. You make an appointment, you bring in some basic measurements, and they're going to walk you through everything. The best part about that, the appointment, the design, those are free. Some places charge. Many places charge. Not Northeast Factory Direct. Northeast Factory Direct cuts out all the costs associated with traditional stores. You can buy nice stuff at really incredible prices. They have 0% financing available as well. So if you're thinking about remodeling your kitchen, it is simple. Go to northeastfactorydirect.com, schedule your appointment today. Let's go around the league. Justin Fields, speaking of Justin Fields, will get a second pro day. It'll be April 14th. So here's what I'll ask you, since you guys being in the building.
questions for you.
Is this
my questions were for you?
Well, hold on. Is this a result of him being unable to go to San Francisco and work out? Because the way that I understood it this morning is that it's possible that San Francisco asked for him to do this.
Okay. I was going to ask why this is happening. I've never heard of a second pro day.
Alabama actually had 2 pro days this year.
Were the same people
I think it's because
the same people participated?
I don't think so.
No, like if a guy's injured when the first pro day is, sometimes the school will have a second pro day, but Justin Fields did his pro day. So that's why I've never seen, or I can't recall hearing of somebody saying, let me run this back,
But is it possible that players can't go to facilities to work out, so this is the go-around?
That's possible, yes.
That's what I think's happening here. Because Ohio State's pro day was the same as Alabama's.
What's S saying?
And I didn't talk to him about this. I don't know if he's as dialed in once they leave as he is as they're arriving and while they're there. But that's what I'm understanding.
Okay, and this is a pay attention to your scores?
Yeah, that's kind of the way I understand it.
That makes sense.
That this was an ask, hey, because you can't go to San Francisco and work out for them. Normally, you'd go fly out there, work out. They'll put you through a workout. Can't do it. So this is a response to that.
Now, the interesting part is when you go back to the Mike Shanahan, Jay Cutler situation. Now, the difference is in this case, Kyle he's already traded up. That he never worked out Cutler, never went to see Cutler, none of it. He said, Cutler's my guy, that's what I'm doing, and went blind with it. So this is adding another.
So that would be the Trey Lance.
Yeah.
Would be the answer there. Would be the Trey Lance part of it. So Kyle, you guys used to pal around. You guys had met multiple dinners. Godfather of your children. Let me ask you this. Do you think he gives up all of that to move to 3 unless he knows who he's taking? I don't.
No.
Right.
I agree with you.
So me, this is already done. He's so smart. This has been done
for a while.
When they make the deal, he knows who he's getting.
I believe.
He calls Saleh. He goes, "You taking Wilson? Great. The guy I want, I know who I'm taking at 3. I'm going to go to 3 and get who I want."
I would say this. I do think it is also possible that he has 2 guys that he wants, but that one of them is Wilson, and that by having the conversation that he just had with Saleh, he knows that I'm either getting this guy or I could still get Wilson, because now if I'm Robert Saleh and I hear that you're taking Wilson, great, I'm coming to 3 to get my guy. I'm asking my people to go back and let's really look at these quarterbacks again, and are we sure that it's Wilson and not Fields or Lance or Jones?
And that's the thing we laid that out yesterday, that would Kyle be somebody who would put up a whole facade to not get Saleh onto who he really wants. So either way, I think you laid it out perfectly. You're talking about 2 guys. I'm thrilled with either one. I know I'm getting one of them. But the notion that the 49ers are still trying to decide at 3, impossible. You just would never do it. You know who you want.
I can tell you that now that we're going back for a little revision, and there was so much smoke, if you remember, around Baker and Josh Allen. And for a while, it was more Darnold, Josh Allen, and it didn't tilt to Baker until I think that Monday of the draft is when this was the first time I said I think I put the odds for Baker over 50%, and then by Thursday it was we're taking Baker. In discussions I had with people involved in that process after the fact, Baker had been identified way early on that he was the guy.
Yep.
Now, Josh Allen did very much impress people here, and I think that's why where the friend of Dorsey got, that run. But, yeah, these are situations. It's not like they just start scouting these people a month before. This has been going on for years.
No. You don't need to see Justin Fields throw anymore. Right. You know what he is.
Right.
There's a plenty of sample size. The only guy who doesn't have a huge sample size is Lance.
Correct.
That's it. He's the only one of these guys, and I think to a certain extent, Wilson, those two guys, just because of the limited amount of time and the quality of competition, like if you're trying to make a decision on Justin Fields and you need more than game tape and to talk to him, then I can't help you.
Right.
It's all there. The good, the bad, all of it. Most of it really, really good. It's all there. Like Lance playing at North Dakota State and only playing one game last year, that's a different dialogue to be had. Josh Allen, is this from he did the 10 things or 10 questions podcast with Kyle Brandt? He doesn't think the franchise tag is good for the team or the player. Well, it is what it is. Is there a better way to do this, Z?
No, you want to have the ability as an organization to keep your star guys. I think some people would say that it's worked out very well for them. What was his argument against it? I'd say Dak Prescott, the franchise tag worked out very well for Dak Prescott. I would say for Kirk Cousins, it worked out very well for him. So I don't know a case where it hasn't worked.
And it works out fine for the organizations, too. And it works out fine for them.
In the Cousins case, I don't think Washington wouldn't say that it necessarily worked out for them, but they wanted to keep him and they got to. That's a win.
Yeah, and then I don't know if they wanted to keep him forever either. Like they basically got to pay him. They were competitive. They paid him a lot to be the starting quarterback, but also realized that they didn't want him to be there forever. That he wasn't their forever quarterback.
Yep.
So even in that circumstance, which to your point is the one that's most glaring, when you say, well, that didn't work out, they paid him a lot of money and he walked, I don't know that they would want that to be a do-over.
Right. No, you're right.
It's
a good. I think I like it in the sense that you have an opportunity to keep somebody that you do not want to leave, and you will pay them a premium to do so. I think, was Josh Allen's argument that he wants to have the free choice to play where he wants to play? I think players,
I don't know,
from a player's perspective, my guess is they don't like the threat of it. You sign this long-term deal or else we're keeping you.
What anybody would want.
Right.
What anybody would want from the player side is what the NBA have, which is player empowerment, guaranteed money. I go wherever I want, whenever I want to go there. But you tell me how that works. You watched, this has been all over this morning as I was watching the Masters highlights on SportsCenter this morning. Kevin Durant came back to play last night. Like, I was unaware that they also have Blake Griffin.
Yeah, and now he's...
And LaMarcus Aldridge.
And now he's dunking.
Right. Like, is that good? That's not a win. How is that a win for anybody? How can Oklahoma City draft Durant and Harden and Westbrook, and none of them are there?
None of them. Not a single one.
That's not a win.
No.
They did everything. You did everything right. The only thing they had going for them is that people don't want to play in Oklahoma City. But if you're going to have a league, that can't honestly factor into it. If you want a league where everybody's got a shot.
You drafted 3 of the top easily 10 players in the league and probably 3 of the top 8 homegrown,
They've
drafted.
all won MVP.
Right. And they also draft
MVPs.
Didn't they draft Serge Ibaka too?
Jeez. Yeah.
And they've drafted now Shai. I mean, they've done a pretty.
Well, they traded for Shai. Yeah.
They've done a good job of starting their own talent, and they have nothing to show for it.
Yeah. Nothing. You draft 3 MVPs, and you have 1 trip to the finals, and none of them play their entire career in your jersey. That can't happen.
Yeah.
Can't happen. So that's the beauty of the NFL. So whatever sacrifices have to be made to keep the shield that powerful, those sacrifices are made, and everybody benefits from it. Get your questions in now. For us, it's Ask Us Anything on a Thursday. Tweet them to one of Gibby's many accounts, this one at Browns_Daily. You can use the hashtag AskCBD to get your questions answered. You and I are doing a 7. This will be pure joy and pure chaos. We are doing a 7-on-7 snake draft at the top of the hour using McShay's top 107 players. Hijinks, no doubt, will ensue. Are we going to go like we have to pick? You pick, I pick. Is that how we're doing this?
Yes. Well, we have to decide who gets the number 1 pick. I'll flip a coin or something.
Are you going to do it like so? If you pick second, you pick second and third. That's the way we're going to do it. You have to.
No.
Gibbe.
You can't go 1, 3, 5. You got to go 1, 2, 3, 4.
Not doing that. Mel and Todd didn't do that.
I'm a snake man.
Bad job out of them then.
I'm a snake man. I believe in the snake.
You want to do a snake? We'll do a snake.
All right.
We
I
can
think
do a
it's
snake.
more equitable to have a snake.
Okay, fine. Why
Yeah,
not?
otherwise the first pick's really outweighing at this point. It's got a lot of value. By the way, there will be absolutely no way to know who wins this.
No.
Yeah, we'll declare a winner.
Come back a year from now. We'll
Couldn't
get
do
you a
that.
Masters
Well, first of all, they're
update as
playing
well.
7-on-7. We're just playing 7-on-7 football.
It's just a 7-on-7 game.
Right. Is
Like,
it
I wasn't
tackle?
going to ask you to do like 11 offense.
Are we
11
drafting
defense.
defensive guys too to defend them?
You have 2 wild card positions.
If you want to get a lockdown
Gibbe,
guy,
is this flag? Is it touch? Is it tackle?
I don't know. What
What's
do
the
you want to do?
alignment?
be
Do you have to have blockers?
No, clearly. There's no blockers.
No, you
7 on
play
7.
I almost think we need to do 14 rounds. We need to have 7 offense and 7 defense.
I like that'll take 2 hours.
I
We can't
agree
do
with
that.
that.
That's going to take
Yeah,
2 hours. We
let-
got to do
let's
this in
not.
like
This
10
isn't.
minutes.
This
Yeah.
isn't
All right.
some
We'll
kind
sort
of
it
thoughtful
out.
exercise. This is mindless
Perfectly
work
said.
on a Thursday.
And the perfect way, that is the perfect way to explain the show. We get to that at the top of the next hour. Cleveland Browns Daily, 850 ESPN Cleveland. obsessing over something like football can be a problem. If you're obsessing over gambling, it can be dangerous. Do something to take your mind off it. If you want some tips on what that could be, go to keepitfunohio.com for great ways to keep gambling fun. Your Masters leaderboard here, day one at Augusta. Hideki Matsuyama 4 under, Webb Simpson 4 under, Mark Leishman 4 under as well. It feels like Simpson and Leishman always play well here. At least
always
in
the
my
mix.
head it does. I don't know if they really, don't they? Yeah,
they're always in the mix.
Yeah. Your boy Zalatoris sitting there at 2 under. You had him
Zalatoris.
yesterday as one of your guys. He's there.
Yeah.
He's in the clubhouse with the 70. You like that? Carter
Love
70. Yeah. Paul Casey is 3 under. I'm trying to see how far in terms of notables. Dustin Johnson got it back to even. Bobby McIntyre, Gibby, that was our guy. He's at even through 7, so he isn't killing us.
I'll take that.
When we were breaking our thing.
Yeah, McElroy's
we'll take
Rory's
that.
3 over. You had it, though. You had it.
He's
You
crushed
called
us. I knew he'll end up being fine, but I mean you have to wonder at some point with him if it's just mental, like clearly.
it. Yep.
Like first rounds of majors, he just plays himself out of them. Jason Kokrak, Hudson resident, there at 1 over through 6, getting that out there. Nice local guy, local connection there. See, is anybody blown up? Let's see if anybody's blown up that we know. Rory at 4 now. Koepka at 4. Jason Day at 4.
Could have called it. Could have
Who
seen
had
it.
Koepka? Didn't you have Koepka, Gibby?
I think I do. That might explain why I'm last currently in our little ditty.
Just gonna say you were so chesty about Rory. I'm thinking. I think you have Koepka.
Yeah, Koepka's got me -2 points so far.
So what are the standings?
Yeah.
What are the live standings right now?
Great.
What's the live track?
I'm in last. No shock to anybody. Zegura with 7, Bishop with 3, me with 1. Now,
The Zalatoris
what
thing is
has
running away
helped
with
you,
us.
Zegura, is your Zalatoris with 8 points. Because Rory's giving you
Sure.
a whopping -3.
Yeah. Same as
Bishop,
Koepka.
The Big
right?
Z.
Bishop,
Getting it done.
you've got -3 from Rory, but you're on the plus side from everybody else.
I haven't had any
Xander
DeChambeau
giving you
yet.
2 points early on.
I haven't had any
Yeah.
Bryson DeChambeau yet.
Well,
Just
I'm just
wait.
waiting for
He's
him to
just
implode
starting.
mentally.
He's played one hole, right?
Yeah,
That's
he's
where he's
even.
at this point.
That's right. Oh, number 2? He might drive number 2. I'm talking double eagle here. Albatross.
All right, we'll see.
Okay. All right.
All right.
All right. Are we
Gonna be
getting into this?
interesting to see what
Are we
happens.
getting into this
All right,
draft?
so here it is. So Kuiper and McShay did this. They drafted super teams from this year's draft class. We're going to do it. We're going to draft the ultimate 7-on-7. All right, so this is also a lie. You say to help at the – oh, you have given this. This is at the end of the rundown. This is not a lie, so I don't
Thank
want
you.
to – okay, here you go. It is at the bottom of the rundown. All right, good job out of you, Gibby. Shame on me for besmirching you before I knew, before I went down there.
First
and
time
looked.
won't be the last.
No, you're right. Accurate on all fronts. So I think, first of all, we need to set the ground rules for our 7-on-7 game.
Okay.
So I think the most important thing that has to be decided is, can the quarterback run without being rushed?
No, if there are no rushers, if you're doing a quarterback and then you've got 6, you could have 6 receivers, right?
Yeah, I mean yes, you'd have 6 receivers. So what I'm saying is, like, if a quarterback can run without being rushed, or does there have to be a blitz in order for the quarterback
To break the
like
line
in
of
other words, you
scrimmage.
could take the 7th defensive guy and just play him at safety, play man everywhere else, or however you want to devise it. If no one rushes the quarterback has to throw the ball. He can't run.
Correct.
Right.
Right? That's the ground rule.
there's
I
gotta
just want to
Fine
make
with
sure.
that.
There's got to be a time limit, though. You can't just stand back there for like 800 years.
What do we do on that front?
It's got to
Do
be
we
like a
do
real
like a
7-on-7 league. I
7
imagine
second?
there are rules in a real 7-on-7 league.
Well, what are they? Where's Stevie?
Stevie, Esteban.
I talked to him last week. He
I
sends
think-
his regards.
All right, here you go. 7-on-7 helmets. 7 defenders may not line up 8, drop 1 before the snap. 6 offensive players must use the center as an extra player to snap. Each possession starts at the 40. I'm looking up the 7-on-7 rules right
All
now.
right,
reading
so
these.
do you have to? All right, we have to have 1 defensive player, is what you're saying. And then you have 1 wild
Well, it looks
card.
to me like the real 7-on-7 rules are that the 6 must use a center or extra player to snap.
Okay.
May line up 8. Okay, let's just do it this way. The quarterback can't run unless he's rushed. You want to blitz the quarterback? Do it at your own peril.
Yep.
Fair?
Fair.
All right. So as long as we have those as the ground rules, I think we're set to begin here.
All right. And we discussed this. I will have the first pick.
Yep.
You still are okay with that?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're take Pitts.
With the first pick in the draft, I take Kyle Pitts.
Yeah.
Weapon, Florida. But he counts as my tight end, and you must have a tight end. I couldn't
must
even
have a
name
tight
the
end.
next tight end in this draft.
That is tough. Which is also that's why it was clear that he was the number one guy. It could be Pat Fryermuth, could be the guy I end up going. But unlike Gibby, when we did the thing, and then he took the position with the next pick.
Playoff
Yeah.
fantasy league.
picked.
Yes.
Another one of my ingenious
Yes.
ideas that
Yes.
totally came back to bite me. But you got free sushi
I will-
out of it.
I will save the tight end pick for my last pick.
Smart.
All right, so this is 7-on-7. There
Yep.
could be an occasional blitz. The first player I want is Jamar Chase. He'll be the number 2 pick in this draft. I'll take Jamar Chase, number 2.
Okay.
The wide receiver out of LSU will be number 2. Now this is where it gets interesting. Do you add to that, or do you go with a quarterback? Now this is 7-on-7. Okay. The difference in these quarterbacks is negligible. So I am going to go with another skill position player here, and I'm going to go with another guy with elite traits. So I'm going to go with Jalen Waddle as number 3 overall.
All right, so you got 2 wide receivers there. I am going to take, at this point, because I feel pretty good about how this is falling to me, I like it, I'm going to take Devontae Smith, the Heisman winner, at wide
Yep.
receiver. So I've got Pitts and Smith. And then I will go ahead, because I think he's the best quarterback in this draft, and I'll take Trevor Lawrence here.
Okay, you take Trevor. Very good. I like the selection of that. All right,
Thank
I
you.
still need to get a tight end, and I have to get a running back in this draft. Those are 2 things of paramount that need to be had. The running back to take for 7-on-7, and I think in this instance, second is kind of 8th. Because of its being 7-on-7, is Travis Etienne out of Clemson. So I will take Travis Etienne out of Clemson with that pick right there at whatever pick that is.
Okay.
So
Very nice.
at this point, I want to go back to the other side of the ball because we have 2 wild cards. And I'm going to take Patrick Surtain as my wild card defensive back. Of course, I can also play him on offense. He is elite on all fronts. Z?
All right, so you've got Pat Surtain.
Look how Bishop's gone about this.
Yeah, these are both nice strategic drafts so far. I like everything that's happening so far.
Well, I said I like Beau's.
Well,
That's fine.
by the way,
It's all going to work. There's no way we're going to know a winner.
that
Go ahead.
is that makes me feel even better about what I'm doing. Given that is the most comforting thing you could have said.
Well played, Maurer.
All right, I am going to go ahead at this point because now we're getting into some, interesting territory. But I'm going to go with. I want excitement. I believe that's what I'm looking for. Some excitement. So I am going to.
Okay.
At this point, I am going to take Kadarius Toney because I just think he'll be in this type of an open field situation.
This is the Florida wide receiver out of Florida.
Wide receiver out of Florida. I think he'll be a very interesting type of a character here because I want speed, and that he's got. Where do I go from here, though? That's the real question. You talk this guy up all the time, so I think I'm going to go add one
Notre
more.
Dame?
This will be my wild card. I'm going to take Rashad Bateman to give myself a little bit of size at the wide because I've got
fast, too.
Smith and Toney who are small, Pitts and Bateman now who have got some nice size to them.
Yep. All right. So I'm going to take my second favorite corner here, and that would be J.C. Horn, the corner out of South Carolina. I will take him. So I'll have J.C. Horn, and I'll have Patrick Surtain Jr. Of course, they can all go about every way that you would want. I will take Justin Fields as my quarterback in this draft. And now I'm just waiting on a tight end. And what are you waiting on?
I need a running back, and I'm going to take a defensive player here. So I'm going to take – oh, boy. I think for this format, I don't know if it's crazy or not, but I got to feel like he's a good enough athlete that he can catch the ball. And I think he's kind of a special player, and maybe he would bring me something exciting. What do you think about this? What do you think about – didn't he just run what did Micah Parsons run at his pro day? Didn't he run like a 4.4?
Oh, there's no question he can fly. I mean, he can run it. There's no question. There's no question he can run.
I'm going to take Micah Parsons as just my defensive guy who's going to rush the quarterback and intimidate you.
Well, if he does that, I win.
Why? He's just going to spy. He's gonna monitor.
If he rushes the quarterback, though, Fields can run. So I
think Micah Parsons can run.
So I got to take Freiermuth. That's my that's the end because there's and the biggest you're done too, right?
No, I need a running.
Or you need a running back.
I need a running back.
Okay.
So I mean, you're saying is Najee Harris no good at catching the football? Is that what you're saying?
He's just not like the difference between. It's not as big as the difference between Pitts and Freiermuth.
Yeah.
From a talent standpoint. But for this skill set, Etienne would be so significantly better than Najee.
What about the kid from North Carolina? Isn't he? He's a good. He averaged 13 yards a catch. He seems like a pretty shifty.
One of the Carolina running backs is a bowling ball. They have two of them. They're both pretty good.
Javonte Williams.
I get them confused. I'm not. Michael Carter's the other one. I get confused about which one is which. Because you want the one that can fly. That's the one you want.
I'm guessing it's Javonte Williams.
Sure
the guy averaged 13 yards a catch and 8 yards a carry, and scored 19 touchdowns.
There you go. So
he seems pretty.
So that would be your guy. Yeah, they had two backs who put up monster numbers. Michael Carter was the other one.
What I'd really like to do is not have a running back at all, and make Tutu Atwell my running.
Well,
back.
no, you'd rather. Yeah, honestly, like if you were really doing it, if you were putting together a 7-on-7 team, you would take a quarterback. Pitts would be interesting because of his size that he has. But he would have some issues just in terms of trying to. If this was flag, he would be tough on the defensive side because he's going to have to play defense.
Yep.
So like, how is he going to get down to pull flags? Like honestly, what you would want is an entire team of Jamar Chases
or Devontae Smith.
That's what you'd want. Those type of guys.
Yeah.
Chase is just a little faster, a little more dynamic. Or Waddle. Like those guys are just. You want Tutu Atwell. Like you'd want a whole team of those guys. Is what you'd go.
By the way, I've decided I'm cutting. Micah Parsons been released, and I'm bringing in Caleb Farley. I got to have at least one corner.
What?
Mike Parsons been cut.
There we go.
Off the field issues.
Just changing the rules as we go.
Off the field issues.
Off the field issues. Yeah, you got to have corners. I think you got to have corners, and you have to assume that corners can play receiver. So that's why I went. Did you take? Which one did you take? Farley.
So I took Farley. Yep.
He's going to Randy Moss your team since
I've got
two guys ahead of him.
I've got Farley. My speed is Devontae Smith, Kadarius Toney, and Farley. Plus, I've got Pitts, who's fast in his own right, and Rashad Bateman.
All right.
I kind of like my squad.
So
I like your squad. This is such a ridiculous thing. Freiermuth is just so by far the worst guy in this that it's silly that he's included.
Yes, he would be a tremendous liability defensively. Tremendous.
He's never getting the ball. He's Christian Laettner on the Dream Team. Everybody's like, what are you doing here? Where's Shaq?
Don't besmirch one of the greatest NCAA players.
He would have. He's tall. He might be. Yeah. He's tall. I mean, he could be like a matchup guy inside the red zone. Like you throw it high to him. But compared to the rest of the speed that's out there, it doesn't add up. So here's the one. I think if you do an exercise here, one big takeaway is there is and this is football in general, guys. There is so much NFL-ready talent at receiver.
Yep.
We could have done 6 receivers each.
Oh, yeah.
6 of them, which is, if you go back to the comment I made about a month ago about how the receiver position, unless it's an elite trait, unless you have blinding speed, 4.29, 4.3, whatever, or you are big and tall, like Pitts has traits. He's 6'6". Like, unless you have that, is it like we didn't take Rondale Moore? Do you know how good Rondale Moore would be at this?
It'd be great. I took Toney was my kind of guy like that. Elijah Moore from Ole Miss, Tutu Atwell. I took Bateman because you love him so much. Honestly.
Tutu Atwell, like you could. Well, and he's he's got some traits because he's bigger.
Yeah.
He's bigger than some. He's bigger and a little more physical, and he runs 4.39. So, I mean, that's why you have that. But we could have gone 2 quarterbacks, 6 receivers each, and our last receiver picks would have been players.
Studs.
That's how deep it is. Yeah. That's how deep it is. It's what's happened. There's so many great players playing the position, and they're ready. They're ready to go. They're ready to get into the league and make things happen. Get us your Ask Us Anything questions. Tweet them to Browns_daily. Use the hashtag AskCBD. Get those in for Gibby, and we will get to those coming up. You listen to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland. All right, welcome back into Cleveland Browns Daily. Beau Bishop here for my friends at Perfect Power Wash. Guys, winter weather, devastating on your home. You know it. I know it. It's time for you to call the pros at Perfect Power Wash. Dirt, mold, and algae accumulate on the exterior of your home. They lead to costly damages. Stop it now. PPW safe process, professional techs. They help remove those contaminants to keep your house looking protected. Call them today at 888-860-WASH. You save 10%. Take advantage of priority scheduling. The whole process couldn't be easier either. One call does it all. The professionals at PPW will provide you with a free quote, and they will schedule your service. So if you want a perfectly clean home this spring, Call the pros at 888-860-WASH or visit perfectpowerwash.com. Do it today. Remember, the early bird gets the savings on this, so call 880-860-WASH today. Use the promo code BEAU. Save 10% on that. If you were to play Augusta, what would be your day one attire? If you were in the round one of the Masters.
I would probably go my typical go-to, although I've branched out in some more colors recently, but I like to wear all black on the golf course. So I think that's what I would be in.
Little Gary Player?
Yeah, little Gary Player, all black, and I have a great gray camo glove that I wear.
Oh, I like
I have
that.
my black
now, what
Jordan
is the
5s.
is there a pant?
Yeah, I wear my black Lululemon joggers, and then I would wear
Yep.
I'd wear the
the jogger?
Yeah.
Or the pant?
No, the jogger.
The jogger.
So it shows off the
Okay.
Jordan 5
So
nicely.
comfy.
So I'm in the black Jordan 5, and then I'll have a
Taper.
very tight, because I like my golf shirts to be very tight. A very tight polo,
Okay.
and then maybe a hat, maybe
Yep.
not, probably some shades. Probably no hat, probably shades.
Yeah, I'm a shades guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I
there
do
it is. What
shades.
would you
do
wear?
Do you wish the days when? Do you miss the days when the guys would not wear the hats? Like the old Faldo
Yeah, it's
in
too
the
many
non-hat
hats.
look.
It's too many hats.
Too many hats. Everybody's in a hat.
Right.
I would go. It's interesting. Like we would be paired well together because I don't like black shoes in general for whatever reason. I'm not a black shoe guy, so it would be a nice white shoe that I would wear. I would probably at Augusta. I would probably wear a white pant, and I would probably I have this shirt exactly at the one that I would wear, either a white or a light gray pant. I have a beautiful like kind of a checkered pink polo that I like a lot with a nice gray bighorn on it, and then I would have a green,
Nice flex there.
probably a green, right, that's right, and then I would have like a green quarter zip, so that I would essentially match the Augusta colors. I'd go with the green, a little bit of pink for the azaleas, and get it all going. That's what I would probably do
Very
on
nice.
day one.
That's very nice. What would you be?
I also think anytime you wear a blue there, it looks great. You wear a blue there, you're going to look great. The blue contrasts with the green, so spectacular.
What are you going to wear on Sunday?
Navy, probably a navy blue.
A navy.
Probably a navy blue. I think that's what I would go. What are you? You going to go with all black the whole day, all 4 days?
I probably would.
Yeah.
I could see myself getting into
I think that fits you. That's why I call you Zorro.
a little camo, maybe. A little black and gray camo.
You're the man in black.
For the last day. Yeah, a little John Cash, sure. I mean, there was a
Yeah,
while.
I like it.
There was probably
that
a
stands for Zorro.
decade where I did not at any point ever wear a different color on the golf course other than black. Probably 20
That's
years.
it. That was it. Did you wear, like when you competed, were you that way?
Yeah.
Were you always in black
Just
when you
all
competed
black.
too? You were.
Always.
Loved it. Yeah.
Now I've got some colored,
It's a great look.
colorful shirts that I'll bring out there. I'll do all that. Yeah, look at Senior Swag.
It strikes an
getting it done.
intimidating. What's he got in?
He's got a nice little
What's he
blazer
wearing?
on today. He's got a sport coat, if you will, and he's got a nice English.
Can
what
you
I call
imagine his golf attire?
an English. I've seen it. Yeah, it's great. He does a real nice look where he's got his polo and then he's got like these tight sleeves that come out of the polo that look pretty ferocious, and he's got Jordan 1s, the white, black, and red Jordan 1s golf shoes that are just unbelievable.
Just pure.
Yeah.
Pure. All right, we'll hit Ask Us Anything. Ask CBD
Let's go.
Anything
Bring it.
coming up next. You listen to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland. 2021 NFL Draft is coming right here to Cleveland. April 29th, May 1st. You can be a part of the action of the NFL Draft Experience taking place outside First Energy Stadium. 2021 NFL Draft Experience is a free football celebration, and it's open to families and fans of all ages. Space is limited, though, guys. Reserve your tickets today via the NFL One Pass. Do we have this before we get into SCB, do we have the foursome of PGA Tour players that we would play with at Augusta, or is that one that we just want to do before we get started for everybody?
Light wasn't on, and I talked anyway.
Light
Bozo.
wasn't on.
Turn the light on.
Bozo. Turn the light on.
I was too excited writing down my foursome. No, that was my question that I was curious about.
Okay.
So I guess it's a three. It's the threesome. You are the fourth.
Three with you.
Yeah.
Yep.
I've got mine.
Do they have to be guys in the tournament, or are they guys?
No, just any pro. They have to be
pro
golfers.
Pro golfers, yeah. The only
Of
hesitation I have here, because one thing that's critical in a foursome is everybody getting along.
Yep.
And there's one person that is on my list, but I don't know if they get along. Like, I would assume they get along with everybody, but I don't know. So that would be John Daly. Like, I would want John Daly to be in my four. I assume he gets along with everybody.
Got to. You
Right?
guys got to.
Yeah. So Daly, Couples, and Justin Thomas.
Wow, no Tiger.
Well, I mean, he's not. Is he? What's his physical condition?
This is just like whatever and whenever. You can say whenever.
Oh, okay. Honestly, I don't. I won't come. I won't. I didn't. I took him out of it because he's hurt, so I didn't even figure him into the process.
But is John Daly even playing golf right now? What's John Daly doing?
Well, he's up and about though. Like, I mean, Tiger's not up and about. So I would say the only thing with Tiger is like I don't know if he's a barrel of fun.
That's why
like it would be historic to play with him. So
I want to see
need to have.
I want to see it. I want to hear the way he hits the ball. I want to just like see the machine. So I have.
Is a great human. Daly is pure joy.
Yeah.
And Justin Thomas, I just think he would just bust onions constantly, just crush people. Which I think he's quite funny when I've ever heard him on a mic.
He is very funny on a mic. So he was in my three honorable mentions. I had my three and then three honorable mentions. JT, Phil, and Fred Couples were my three honorable mentions. My foursome, though, is myself, Tiger, because I got to see it. John Daly, because he was my favorite. So we both had John Daly. And then this one, I think, could be a shocker. I think you could probably list 100 names before you got to this one. But after an experience that I had at Ken Stewart's next to this individual, when they used to come in for the World Golf Championship, Miguel Angel Jimenez is 100% in my foursome, and he will make Tiger be fun. Me, him, John Daly are going to have the time of our lives.
Forgot about him.
He's a legend.
I forgot all about him. He is a legend.
Than you could even imagine him to be.
Yep. Yeah, I forgot all about him. When you said him, I didn't. He would have to be involved. He is just. In fact, he would push probably Couples out. Would be the one that would push out, just because you'd get all the things of Couples except lived even to a larger
European
extent.
Right?
Yeah, right. Even to a larger extent. Gibby, who'd be your three?
Well, I stepped out, so then I was like, well, I guess I better put something together.
That's right, Gibby.
Obviously, Tiger, Phil, because Phil's going to keep Tiger loose. I
thought about
like
Phil. He was in my honorables.
Phil's going to keep Tiger loose.
The only thing, the wild card on Phil is, do you get the Phil with the cameras or do you get the other Phil? Because there are two of them. They're different humans.
Two Phils.
I'm willing to take my chance.
If you get camera Phil, pure joy.
I feel like, too, like even if Tiger ended up being a little bit of a crud that day, with John and Miguel Angel, we're having the time of our lives. Like, I'll just watch you play golf.
You have to worry about crud quality.
Be robotic. I don't care. They've crud-proofed the event.
Yeah, it's Miguel is a reach. I haven't seen him in so long. Sorry, Gibby. You had
no,
Tiger,
you're fine.
And
Phil.
And you have
Phil,
Tiger. Who's three?
I think I'm going to go a little Sergio.
Wow.
Throw that in the mix. Boy, you're going to get. That's a powder keg there,
Speaking of some times in Akron.
That is a powder keg.
Oh. Okay.
I've heard stories about Sergio that
it.
make me think he's really cool, and I've heard stories about Sergio that make me think he is not the nicest human around. Sometimes it's the same story.
I think that's where I'm going.
All right. Very good.
All
right, time for
I know he's not
SCBD.
playing anymore.
Go ahead, Gibby. I'm
I
sorry.
had thought about Greg Norman.
Ooh, the shark.
Norman would be good, too. I bet all those old, like those dudes, their
Yes.
lifestyle.
Sir Nick Faldo. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Nick
That would
Price.
be
I used
fun.
to be a big Nick Price fan.
Yeah.
What's the Nick
Good-
Price?
that's a
You
good
guys know
grouping.
remember the Nick Price John Daly connection?
No, I don't.
No.
Nick Price withdrew at Crooked Stick in 1991, and that's how Daly got in, and Daly took his caddy. Squeaky was Nick Price's caddy. That's why he was on John Daly's bag saying grip it and rip it. I think Nick Price
Really?
was his wife's having a kid, something like that, but he was out. Daly's
And that's
in,
how
and
that
he gets Squeaky Medlin to be the caddy and make the grip it and rip it famous, all because Nick Price was there. Otherwise, he would have been on Nick Price's bag.
Wow. There you go. No, I did not know that.
Well,
All right, Gibby.
time to have a little
SCBD,
fun.
You ready?
I think we've been having fun most of the day, but it's time for a little Ask CBD anything.
Yes.
Yep.
Tweet at the program at Browns_Daily using the hashtag AskCBD. Nick, let's get a little traveling music going underneath. It's Thursday, tomorrow, Friday, then the weekend.
Yep.
Let's go. This is from Dino. Tweets at the show.
Dino.
Draft day meal and drink of choice. Zegura.
Draft day?
Draft day.
I'm always working, so I don't have like a draft day tradition. Although I will say, in years past,
Whoa.
when it was catered by Simone,
Yes.
I mean, and you could do tenderloins and shrimps and sushi until the wee hours of the morn. That would be it. I don't have a draft day beverage. I'm working. I'm a professional. So, but
Although I
if
think
I did, it would be a jalapeno margarita.
There was one year that there was an event in the field house, and it wrapped early because obviously we had an early pick, and just happened to get a text from a few people saying, hey, you guys should make your way to the field house after
Sure.
we got off the air at 11:45, 12 o'clock. And,
When was this?
believe it or not, your wife spearheaded it.
Oh, that's
Awesome.
right.
Miss K. The lovely
you go.
Miss K.
Of course, she knows how to throw a potty.
Yes.
If I'll take it from the angle of I don't have I mean when I was a kid watching the draft it was you ordered the pizza, that's what you did, and you just had the time of your life. That's what we did when I was a kid. If I were a player, my pre-draft meal would probably be something light. I would probably go
Yeah.
with a few sushi rolls, something like that, a nice fresh. I'd go something very light. I would not want anything digesting. I want it very, very light. Nice salad, something like that. I would go light. But to consume it, all the bar foods, any bar food is a win to consume it.
What about on game days, girl? What do you got?
Honestly, on game days, I usually don't get to eat anything. I mean, a protein bar and maybe some jerky. That's what I get at Stave because it's typically.
I wish you liked eggs. I think eggs would change your life. I think they really would. I know you don't like them, but I think that would change your life on that front.
By the way, DeChambeau is in a pickle.
It's all falling apart.
Yeah, now he's crying. Now they need a rules. Now they need a judgment.
He might shoot 80.
He
could shoot 80.
He is just a.
They're going to have no patience for his nonsense. They may DQ him. He may do something that they just throw him out of there. Like, they're not going to have any patience. Like the stuff he was doing at Muirfield. Remember when he's breaking fences? They're not going to handle that. They're not dealing with that there.
No,
he is just off the green, but he's in like some kind of.
Yeah.
I don't know what kind of area it is, but he's tried to play it 3 times, and he comes back out and cries. The rules person's there. They don't really know. I think they're calling for more rules people. I feel like there's going to be a delay coming here. Speed it up.
I don't like any of this.
All right.
So, Patrick Walden tweets at the show, when will we see a CBD quarter zip with the proceeds going to a charity?
You tell me, brother.
Yeah.
Listen, I want you guys to know this is something that
Great question.
This is something that I have made a goal of mine for 2021. Seriously.
I don't doubt this.
That we can get some
2 years
merch.
overdue. We would.
Wednesday night tapes
we've been
would
talking
sell
about
like
merch.
hotcakes.
Yeah.
Gibby
Yeah. Come on, Gibby.
with his face. Hotcakes.
Yep. I love it.
Let's go.
Yep.
First Friday.
Boy, I would love a nice dark chocolate brown CBD kind of intertwined right on the chest, on the crest.
Yeah, crest.
Boy, I think that would be great.
Someone,
Nice
by the way,
crest.
sent us a box. It's over here.
Open it,
Never
Gibby.
opened it.
Unbox it.
Oh, you should open it.
Open
I mean,
it.
See what it is.
I think it's addressed to
all of
you
us?
two. It's
No,
not
it's
addressed
your
to
name's
me.
on that box. Same as mine.
I don't know.
Last time I
Thought it
opened
was
something out of a
ticking the
box,
other day.
I got this beautiful on-air light.
That's right. Thank
Jade.
you. Thank you.
Working on a
God
show.
bless her.
Doug,
First Friday.
segment's
with the
totally gone off the rails.
babies and
Doug
the
Pester
youth bees.
tweets at the show, how long could you last with no food? How about no bathing? I had a contest once where we went to see how long we could wear the same pair of jeans in college.
I mean,
There was
Who asked
there
this?
was significant dollars, and I can tell you the winner went over a month. Like, and you had to wear the jeans like to the bar every weekend. Like, you had to have
No, no.
you
I-
could not
no,
be
this
without
was-
the pants.
Who thinks up these
who
schemes?
asked this? Who asked?
Is this one of your
question?
burners?
Doug Pester.
Is this a Gibbe burner?
Doug, with all due respect, the question's beneath me. I'm not doing any of these things.
First of all, I need food.
You don't wanna
I've
do
reached
that.
not
a-
lasting
I've reached
long,
a
and I'm
point in
showering.
life.
I believe in
I've
hygiene.
reached a point in life where I will not make these concessions, Doug. I'm not making these concessions. I'm not considering these concessions.
No. Same. I'm
Sorry.
showering.
Doug, you
in a
might be
meeting.
able to go like a weekend. Like, if you're just totally being lazy, you don't want to bathe.
I'm not doing any of that.
Okay, well,
No
Like-
chance.
Are you an everyday shower?
yes.
Yes.
Yeah. This is a
Yeah,
society.
but like
A lot
on the
of times
weekend,
it-
sometimes like, you're
Sometimes
just
I'll
like,
run two. I'll run two back sometimes. I'll do a shower in the morning, out and about with the boys, golf, whatever, shower at night.
Well, yeah,
I-
if you're
you
working
know,
up a sweat, you got to shower
keep it
a
moving.
second time.
Keep
I
it
get
moving. I don't go to bed dirty. Won't do it.
Or do
Won't
you
do it.
prefer to
There's a
shower at
regimen.
night or in the morning?
I shower every morning and some nights. But every morning, lock, stock. Can't start a day without it.
Need it. It's part of the
Agreed.
routine.
Got to have it.
I'm eating it in the morning. I'm just saying, Doug, you might be able to go a day or two. No food, I'm fat. That's unacceptable.
Well, the food would be hard. I mean, they both just seem unwilling. I wouldn't want to consider either.
Yeah.
Doug, I'm sorry.
Dustin with an interesting question. What is your favorite Browns moment / play in your lifetime? Mine is the second punt return TD from Metcalf against Pittsburgh.
Oh, that's a good one. Gibby, what's yours?
I feel like it has to be. There's a couple.
Favorite Browns moment?
Yeah. So it's a play. He's asking for a play, right?
Yeah, a moment or play.
I'll take the screen to Nick Chubb because that's when I knew we were winning and I was going crazy.
Yeah. This is one that because we know what we know now, it took a while for the payoff. But when Tyrod Taylor went down against the Jets on Thursday night and Baker came in, the first throw, and I went, he's a dude, it's correct.
I've been telling
You'd
everybody to
been
hug
saying-
him.
You've been telling me to hug
You're
him.
like the company
and in
man.
fact,
Tyrod
that next
Taylor.
Friday
He's the starter.
That next Friday, the Friday following, for reasons that I cannot remember, I was not on that show. But you were on that show with Joe Thomas, and you said you can hug him.
Yeah.
I remember this vividly.
Yeah.
I don't know why I wasn't there, but
We
I
don't need to
wasn't.
get
I
into
remember
that.
listening to you and Joe.
You drank out of a victory
I'm not
fridge
getting
by
into it.
yourself.
We don't need to get into that. Yeah.
That's right.
It was
That's
nice
right.
that they sent you the
but
fridge, though, so you could have it.
Very nice that they did that. That's right. So that was the one for me because it was, we got a guy. We're good. We got a guy.
We're safe.
All right.
He's safe, pal.
Rob Foster tweets at the show. If we take a corner with the 26th pick and there is still a top 5 defensive end on the board in the second round, do you think AB trades up to get him?
Be a hefty. It would be against our character, I would think, Z, because it would be a hefty price to move up to the top of the second round. That said, I don't think we're going to pick all of our picks.
Agreed, and I do think that if you were able to make moves to get 2 guys that you valued, yes, it's about quality more than quantity in this draft class. Agreed.
Rover Joyce tweets at the program, do you trade up if Surtain or Horn fall to 15 or 16? Well, I think Horn's probably going to go at 15 or 16. I would say if they fall, is there a number that if they fell to?
What's the cost?
I don't think it's that much at that
If you could
point.
trade up if you can trade up without giving up a future one.
You have to think
I mean,
that those
what's the
guys are
cost?
so much better than Newsom or Farley, and that you really think that that's the person you must come out of this draft with. I also don't think that Andrew Berry ever goes into a draft saying, I must come out of this draft with this person.
The two questions we were just asked, and this is of no fault. They are from the perspective of desperation. This is not an organization that is desperate or is desperate for any particular player.
Nope.
So the two things that were described are, if we don't have this guy, it's a disaster. We're past that.
Yep.
That's
We can
done.
roll out our
Those
squad
are the
right
days
now.
in your rearview mirror. Yeah. It's just so those things are teams that are desperate do those things. We're not, and I don't think we would in either front.
Brian tweets at the show, how would you rank the major sports leagues in North America? He said, would you do it based on employment, on quality, or any other trait you want to use?
I think it's the NFL
Well,
and then everything else.
NFL second to eighth. So NFL,
NBA,
NBA,
baseball,
baseball,
hockey.
and then I think NHL, MLS are almost
Right there.
similar.
By the way, somebody brought up a good point to me on Twitter yesterday when we were talking about sporting one-offs that I didn't bring up,
Yeah.
and if somebody else did, I apologize. But the way they made it sound is that we all missed it, but I certainly did. World Cup. I want to go to a World Cup. That would be awesome, especially if Croatia was
The key to that,
making a run.
the key to that, of course, I would too. That would be absolute. The key to that is where.
Is it?
Where?
Yeah, of course.
That's the key.
Nice World Cup in Italy would be that'd be a real treat.
One in Europe. I mean, I think
Yeah.
if you're in Spain, you're in England, you're in Italy, any of that, you're gonna Germany, you'd have a ball.
My buddy spent a month in Brazil.
Brazil? I was going to say Brazil.
It was pretty amazing.
I've seen too many episodes, and I realized that this was not set in Brazil, but I've seen too many episodes of Narcos to worry about like me stumbling into the wrong place. And I don't. That's just probably a terrible mischaracterization of it. But I would just.
No, he had
I
to
don't
have,
know.
he always had to have at least two armed bodyguards in their entourage.
Yeah. See, I don't. I feel like if you do the Brazil, you just Copacabana Beach. That's it. Get in, get out.
Real quick before we go to break, Kevin tweets at the show. Kevin, longtime listener.
Yeah, smart
Sometimes
man.
bad tweeter.
Great
like this.
tweeter. This is A+.
Would you rather do manual labor for one famous person or have dinner and drinks with dozens of famous people?
And there it is.
Second
Well, yeah.
by 1,000.
Right.
Good job out of Kevin.
Yeah. Exactly, Gibbe.
Who just-
Exactly.
That's a good job out of him.
By the way, I picked the dinner.
Getting to the
I just thought
the
you were
core.
besmirching
Yeah, you did.
a legend.
Yeah.
No.
You took it. You got personal with Jack Nicklaus.
No, I
but other than
did
that, I think
not.
it was fine. I
You
think
guys
if we
all
would go back and listen to the
sensitive
tape, we'd
haters.
cover it.
Listen, deal with
Still
it.
so much more to come.
I'm not even
You
carrying
listen to
John
Cleveland
Daly's
Browns Daily
bag,
8
and I love him.
on 850 ESPN Cleveland. game plan for this season includes buying or selling a home. Howard Hanna Real Estate Services has you covered. Visit howardhanna.com/Go Browns today. Enjoy round 1 of the Masters. Enjoy this wonderful afternoon weather that we have. Enjoy the next level, which is coming up next. And we are back tomorrow on a Friday.